Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to my Annabelization podcast. Here today, I'm here with Jhon Hernández. It's such a pleasure to have you here with me today.
Thank you very much, Annabel. It's a pleasure for me to be here with you.
As usual, I want to remind everyone that is listening that we always have live instruments in the studio with us, like a ukulele and later a guitar as well. So, Jhon, you know, it's such an exciting time for me to have you here because we met at one of the events I organize in Zurich at Toro Bar, this open mic that I organize, and what I really like about it is that we get to meet people from all over the world and musicians who are very talented. So this is why I'm so excited that I met you that way and now you're here with me today, and we're going to really explore together how, what kind of musician are you? I know you're also a pedagogue. I know you're a teacher. So I would really love to delve into all this together. And, we're just going to delve into the Jhon world.
With pleasure. Let's jump in it.
Amazing. So first of all, I know that you're from Venezuela. Mm-hmm. So I would love to hear a bit about how long did you grow up in Venezuela? Tell me about this musical experience that you got from being living there.
So I was born and raised in Venezuela, and I moved to Switzerland when I was 24. So in all these years in Venezuela, I started first. My first connection to the music was in the island, and I grew up Margarita Island, one of the most beautiful islands of the Caribbean Sea of the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to do my best with my English. My English is not so good. I will try to express in the best way I can, okay? Anyways, I grew up there, and then I was visiting for the very first time the music school of my hometown, Juan Griego. And there I had the possibility to learn many instruments like popular music, like jazz, like a bit salsa, bossa nova. Mm-hmm. Between 10 and 15, I was experimenting many instruments and many music styles, till the time came where I had the first contact to the classical music. And indeed, that was another step in my life because I was used to this kind of popular jazz, Latin music. Mm-hmm. And then I had this encounter with the symphony orchestra of Estado Nueva Esparta, Margarita, and then I went there. I was so excited to hear the orchestra. Mm-hmm. And then I started learning violin, contrabass, etc. until the cello, my main instrument, came to my life.
Wow.
Then I started studying cello in Margarita, and it wasn't that long. Then I moved to the capital, to Caracas, looking for a professional path. And then I started to study at the university in Venezuela. Yeah. And then I forgot to mention that I was already part, when I was into the orchestra world in Venezuela, of El Sistema, this system of music for children and teenagers in Venezuela, which is worldwide quite famous, providing children, teenagers, and adults the possibility to live from the music, to make music as a career, and also social project, mm-hmm. helping children around Venezuela, even children from street. I was even able to work with this kind of children, teaching in the special centers to this kind of children.
So you were already part of this while you were studying and in La Isla Margarita, mm-hmm. and then afterwards in Caracas.
Exactly, in Caracas. That's good. I got into the main part of this El Sistema, being teacher, and then I became one of the cellists of the Simon Bolivar Young Orchestra, which is also quite famous symphony orchestra in the world. With this orchestra, I had amazing opportunities and chances to travel around the world, to work with famous conductors like Sir Simon Rattle, the ex-conductor of Berliner Philharmonica, Claudio Abbado, Lorin Matzel, Gustavo Dudamel, who was my boss, actually. The chief conductor of the orchestra is this quite famous Gustavo Dudamel. I think now he's conductor of the Opera de Paris.
Okay.
And I was in this pretty nice and competitive war of the classical music in Venezuela, and I had amazing opportunities thanks El Sistema.
Can I ask you, sorry, yeah, sure. It's because so much information, so interesting. No, it's great. I just want to, I think maybe our listeners don't know, what El Sistema is. And I don't know what it is that much either.
That's okay.
And so El Sistema, is it something you joined out of your own will, or is it something that was part of a program you were in? Like, how did you get into it?
El Sistema is just this project in Venezuela. Now it has been replied in several countries around the world.
Okay.
Where there is this institution, the system of orchestras for teenagers and children in Venezuela, which provide the opportunity to any child, no matter the social level of this person. You are able for free to learn any instrument, to make music in a symphony orchestra.
Yeah.
It's a huge thing. It's
It
an
is a
amazing
huge thing.
because you can start really like in the furthest part of Venezuela, like Margarita. You have an orchestra. Even in the last city in Venezuela, you would have a part of El Sistema. You have teachers, you have violins, cellos, trumpets trying to join together, to put children together in an orchestra.
Yeah.
So this institution exists already since 50 years, and I just got to this El Sistema when I saw for the very first time the Orchestra of Margarita in a concert we had together with this popular orchestra, Estudiantina. Was part of my music school in my hometown. But this institution exists since 50 years.
Yeah,
and
so you were teaching in it.
Exactly. At the beginning, I started as student, as regular student.
So you started
and
as
then
a
a few
student.
years later, I was just teacher. And I was part of this orchestra, Simón Bolivar, and then I was teaching also around Venezuela, a bit cello, chamber music, and traveling with the orchestra around the world. Actually, I have been in Switzerland several times before I moved to Switzerland because we had international tours.
This is so interesting. And so in Venezuela, the culture around music, it's very open and trying to push children to get into it for free. Like I haven't heard of this in France, for example.
Actually, in France, it's quite, beloved, or people really appreciate in the music area, in the musical world of France. Musicians know about Venezuela, and they know you are from Venezuela, especially from a Sistema. You are from Sistema. It happens every time in several places. You are from El Sistema, of course, but not everyone knows about. Only people involved in the classical music world, especially in the pedagogical world.
Okay,
That's something
really
pretty nice. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So then that made you eventually come to Switzerland.
Exactly. And that was the point. I have been in Switzerland several times. We had, for example, concerts in this Luzern Festival, where I had the great opportunity to play there in KKL with Claudio Abado, with Gustavo. But at some point, the situation in Venezuela became so bad, or I started feeling that it will be pretty bad through the communism we have in Venezuela and all the situation, that I made a decision that it was the time to leave. And also because I wanted to improve as musician. And I had a string quartet, the classical form of string quartet, 2 violins, violoncello, with 3 other friends from the orchestra, and then we decided to come. And we moved to Basel because we wanted to study with the most amazing classical music teacher I have ever had, who is Rainer Schmidt. Rainer Schmidt is the second violin of the Hagen Quartet. I had the great opportunity to study with this guy. You can't imagine, he's a philosopher of the music. I describe my musical life is a before and after Rainer Schmidt. Even with his wife, they are genius. And I had really the opportunity to work with them, to learn with them, especially as human beings. I have to learn when you see this kind of persons, they are really super, super top stars.
Yeah.
And then you're just normal human beings, and then you see that's the real way a superstar should behave. And I had really this opportunity to study there. Even Rainer everyone wants to study with him, and now even worse. A lot of people around the world. I had colleagues in the class of Rainer from Kazakhstan, for example. Around the world, people come because he's quite famous as chamber music teacher for string quartets.
I see.
Yeah, then it's when I moved because we wanted to study with him, and I do not regret it because, as I said, it is before and after Rainer Schmidt.
Okay, yeah. And now I get to speak with the version of you that is after.
Yeah, okay, now. Yes, exactly.
Amazing. So when you first came to Switzerland and then you started studying music here, Yeah. How did you really sense a big cultural change in the music scene from when you were in Venezuela before? Or tell me, how did you feel?
Very, very funny story because I'm really glad and grateful that in Venezuela we had musicians. I'm talking about the musicians in El Sistema. We had a really easy life, easy life in a way that we had a job, we had a very good salary, and actually we thought all of us, okay, if we go to another country, it should be that easy there because it's Europe, for example, the center of the classical music. If we have so much jobs here in Europe, should be even much more jobs for us. Bam, that's not the story. And of course, the level in Europe is 100 times higher than in Venezuela. You have people around the world. The competition is so high.
Yeah.
And it was a really hard shock to the
Yeah.
reality that I thought I was living like a king in Venezuela, and then I came and had to do normal jobs like cleaning, selling, working, moving things, etc. But I do not regret because that was part of my learned process. Because in Venezuela, I've been a musician, traveling around, king life, prince life, and then I got to really see what real life is when I moved to Switzerland.
Okay. Really interesting. But musically, did you see a change in the attitude of the musicians? So you said that it's more competitive and the musicians are, I suppose, in a higher level. But did you see a change in their work ethic, or why is it that they were so in such a high level in Europe than in Venezuela if you have a great institute?
I think it's in a part it's the mentality, this mentality Europeans have about working. Because in Venezuela, that's one of the reasons why we have this huge cultural and political problem in Venezuela, because of culture, because not really seriously working or want to achieve something and waiting that someone helps us the whole time. In Europe, people know they have to work, otherwise you will not pay your rent, your taxes, everything. In Venezuela, it was easier, let's call it like this. And people know that if they don't move their asses, let's call it like this, they will not get anything. And when I came here, you saw people practicing hours. Meanwhile, maybe I was just traveling around with the orchestra, and it was for me like,
Okay.
or people just trying to get any place. They are monsters playing cello, for example, and they are 16 and they are playing like monsters, but they don't have any job. I was with 18 already in the orchestra, earning a lot of money, having an easy life.
Yeah.
So that's why people have this mindset of working until I get something. For us was quite, let's call it easier, because we had plenty of opportunities in Venezuela what musicians here don't have.
Okay. Thanks for sharing all that. That's really interesting. And so, you came, you studied with the best, and then what happened?
Then I studied also with Raphael Rosenfeld is the cello solo of Tonhalle Symphony Orchestra. It was my cello teacher there. And then I just, at the end of my studies of my pedagogical master, I got the next gift of the universe, which is my work now as teacher, Tagesschule Oberglatt. Very interesting time, because it was a difficult time. Maybe I should leave Switzerland because I didn't have a job, etc. And thanks this work, I could stay in Switzerland. Anyway, I worked since 10 years in this school as teacher of special students. I work with autistic children, Asperger, traumatized children with behavioral problems, with learning problems. And at that time, I say it's a gift of the universe, because first I was really looking for a job like crazy, otherwise living in Switzerland would have been difficult for me. And then second, it was like made is a work 100%. They work 100% as musicians, when the majority of musicians have a 20% 20% job there, or some students private there. I'm 100% like any normal teacher, school teacher in Switzerland. I work there with music. It's a blessing for me that I can work in this way. And then it was challenging, of course, because I had already previous experience as teacher, even with children with strict children or difficult children. But with this kind of children, I didn't have any experience. And the very first 6 months, I was there like, okay, what should I do? How should I start? And normally, something I really hate from this work with these children is this, that people treat these children somehow like they are less, or they could do less than they can really do.
Yeah.
And I somehow had the vision, no, with this children you can do really nice things. I don't want to play with them only twinkle, twinkle, little, or
Yeah.
kind
Like
of
basic
things.
Uh-huh.
And then I start creating my own methodology of music education in order to achieve the highest level I can achieve with these children. I have played with these children from AC/DC till Stravinsky, the Firebird, for example, one of the most complex classical pieces written in the story. From them till AC/DC, I have played with these children several things and several times. And what I create also inspired from El Sistema, but in El Sistema Venezuela is a bit different because you have already the music, the cheats written from Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, whoever. But also wanted my children to play this kind of music, but they have no the technical skills to do that. Then I start just understanding that I need to create an orchestra group with these children where the most talented one is able to play and to develop her skills, but that one who is also not able to play so much, because many of my students, they have even physical motoric problems. They are sometimes not able to play two notes in time because it's too fast for them, because for them neurologically it's difficult. Then I start creating my own methodology how first to teach them in a language that in order they can understand Gesundheit.
Danke.
They can understand pretty fast what to play, and I do need to exclude them and to make music in a really high level, but with the one who is not able to do so much and with the one who is doing quite a lot. And then I just create all these things, and then Stravinsky is a very good example of this work, where I put this children which is not able to do so much, doing, I don't know, some few notes, repeating the whole time, and the most talent are playing the most difficult parts. Unfortunately, I don't have the video here, but every time I think about, I still think how do these children are able to play this, because Stravinsky, sorry, I have played the Firebird several times. It's so difficult.
I'll put the link to your video in the podcast.
Yeah, it's
description.
really, and exactly. I started develop this project in a way that given these children the possibility to play amazing music, but on a way that it's makeable for them.
Yeah, no, that's really impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So much creativity must have gone into creating this new methodology that you're telling me about. I also want to explore, you're touching upon the aspect that I really want to talk about in this podcast, and it's how do we use music as a tool, you know, whether it be in your life, or how do you give this tool to others? So obviously you're teaching these children a lot. And also, for you, how did your journey as a musician, I mean, it's evolved a lot because you were playing before with professional groups and doing shows, right? And then now you become a teacher and a mentor. So how has your relationship with music changed throughout this time?
Radically. That was something that will lead to the next topic I think you want me to talk about, but okay, let's go slowly with that. Of course, I had to make a decision, like everything in life. You have moments where you can do the things you like, and moments you have to do this what you have to do. I love my job. I love the school and the work with children, but of course, my life as musician was on the second place. For example, sorry, because I had to work. I had to provide and to do the things I had to do. And then for years, I was just a music teacher, doing music with his students, but not being able to make music with other musicians. Also because I wasn't looking for that. I didn't have the opportunities. I know it was also a pretty difficult moment in my life. Let's say it, okay? And yeah, it was just Jhon, the music teacher, doing music with his students or for himself, and sometimes maybe a concert, 2, 3. Until something happened in my life, what changed my life completely. And indeed, that's this taboo topic you told me you want me to talk about. what is about the work. I don't know if this is the right point
Of
to
course,
mention it.
yeah. And there are no taboos when we're talking about music.
As the topic about psychedelics. And indeed, before I had the first meeting with ayahuasca, I was having a very difficult time because I didn't know how to solve my own issues, who I am, what to do, blah, blah, blah. And this person who told me about this, I was quite skeptical, of course, because I haven't tried in my life. Maybe I have smoked a joint a few times in my life, but something else absolutely was a taboo for me, drugs, psychedelics, etc. And I there's always this story with my friends with whom I worked together when I came to this first retreat, like, oh, what I'm doing here with this bunch of hippies taking drugs, etc. This Friday evening, and on Sunday I left crying because I could really connect with myself for the very first time since many years. And indeed, there here comes the point. Since 1 year, I'm also on my way of being facilitator of ayahuasca, which sounds quite simple. And I'm really grateful that you give me the opportunity to talk about this because, as I told you on the phone, I think we all need to protect the work with psychedelics and to really provide the right informations and the right vision about the work with the medicine and with all psychedelics,
Exactly.
which are a amazing tool for the develop of for the well-being of the human beings.
And you told me that you work with this medicinal plants, but also you pair it with music.
Absolutely.
So how do you do that? Tell me a bit about your journey with how you're learning to do that. What music do you use? With who?
Okay. Let's call it like this. Of course, in the center of the psychedelic work or scene, the first medicine is always the psychedelics. People work with MDMA or LSD or psilocybin. In my case, it's ayahuasca. The difference with other psychedelics, which are also amazing, is the ritualized context. And the ritualized context means that the music is the second medicine who will lead your psychedelic trip, let's call it like this.
Okay.
In order to understand it, of course, music had this healing power and it goes in our neurons and it moves something in us when you are in a non-ordinary state of consciousness. Of course, the music has a higher impact in your brain, in your neurons. And this is exactly the way how I learned in the last years through my masters, especially in Amazonas, how to control the energy of the medicine in order to provide the people a safe and responsible trip through the music.
Okay.
Because
Wow.
normally you work with a group of people, in the best way, 10, 15 people in the best situations. And in this moment, you can't work individually with them. You are just providing the space through the music and you are trying just to lead through the energy that these persons are able to go deep in their own souls, in their own things. Because at the end, what psychedelics or ayahuasca, my specialty, do is they just open the doors of the subconscious.
Exactly.
Because actually, from the transpersonal perspective, our subconscious is our body. So it means all traumas or bad situations we had in our life, what made actually our personality, because our personality is made of this previous experience we had and the way how we see the world. That's what we call personality.
Yeah.
And we are living always, our brain is always living in the past, in everything we had, etc. And we try to protect ourselves, and our ego is always blocking all these fears we have. And what psychedelics, especially ayahuasca, do is really to break this wall of ego and opening and really pushing yourself to see your own issues, something what normal psychotherapy couldn't do. But the work with psychedelics is not the solution of all the problems in the work. Actually, the best way of work with psychedelic is combining with psychotherapy. That's what I do with the participants, with people who come to my retreats. It's not just the moment being high and having the insights you have, it's also the integration. What happens after? What happens with all this content, all these things you have faced there? I have people with which were with in their depression for 10 years, so horrible experience in their lives. And when they face this through the work with the medicine, to face this, it comes very strong, and people can have panic attacks, people can have very bad experience. And you must be prepared as facilitator and as therapist to help people, because I even had the situation. I had panic attacks for months and no one could help me. And fortunately, my taita in Colombia helped me in his way, in his Amazonical way to get out of this. And then through all the books I'm reading, I'm learning, I understood what was happening with me.
Yeah.
It's a complex but an amazing word.
Yeah, I'm really fascinating listening to you. It's so interesting. And I also really liked this. You started explaining how you use the music along with the... So I get that the ayahuasca opens the doors, and then with the music, then you can direct the energy, right? So does that mean if someone is having an ayahuasca trip, but then you play music that isn't intentionally right, or that has the wrong energy intensity, or that is aggressive or stressful, that then you can actually completely make things worse or ruin?
Absolutely. That's the reason why we learn going to Amazonas with them, how to get this feeling, how to develop the intuition with what to play. For example, when I am in this moment of leading, like all of us, who know the work, somehow the intuition, the medicine tells you which song is now the right one. And normally, exactly, that's what I wanted to say, but I forgot it, how to use the music. It depends, of course. Each country in Amazonical area of South America, taitas in Colombia work differently to curanderos in Peru or to pachés in Brazil, and the music is completely different. For example, and I try to divide also energetically and spiritually the lines of work. Like, for example, I open my first night, if I work 2 nights with connection to God, to the universe, and working more on this Taita way, what I'm learning with him, etc. I'm playing more this medicine music of Occidental medicine music, but opening with Peruvian Icaros. Icaros are the praise to call the spirit of the medicine, to call the energy of the medicine. And then you start with things, with songs without guitar, with a tool which is called chacapa or huayra in our case. And then you are 1.5 hours, 2 hours singing this non-stop. And then you are calling, of course, the energy of the medicine.
Yeah.
And you are creating this energetical bubble to provide the people that they work with themselves. And also this music, something I can't explain you, because it's made by themselves, of course.
Yeah.
It goes so deep into your cells that it brings you to a huge level of a non-ordinary state of consciousness.
Wow. And so there's all these different styles, right, of music and of guiding, I feel. And so I'm understanding that in this work that you do, you're using music as a guiding tool. It helps you work. It helps you guide people to get to a certain point. And have you found in the experience that you have already that there's different kinds of music that have different effects on people for different cases of trauma or personality types? How do you know which kind of music to use with your patients?
Absolutely. Actually, in a way, let's talk in general what I was saying before. For example, for me, I divide the work energetically, spiritually, etc. I give people the first night the possibility to get into the mood of the work, into light but strong work, but not so strong, because especially for new people, the first time can be quite confusing. You don't feel the medicine, or you feel it, or you don't know what's happening. And with this music I work the first night is more to provide this base of this non-ordinary state of consciousness. But when the second night comes with this Yawanawa music, then I really pull up the energy, because this music is made for that. And even people which use traumas, that's a risk we have to play with, of course, because the music, as you said, any single note, any single text can have an influence in the trip, in the work of each one. But you cannot think individually in this moment. That's why somehow I try just to lead each song and each intention in order to provide what each one needs in this moment, what I can't think because I'm not a guru. I cannot know what is happening with people, but of course that's another very important part of this work. Meanwhile, we facilitators, like my friend Alessia or I, are there 6 8 hours singing, playing. We are taking care of people, seeing, like, and quite inspired, with one eye closed singing, but with the other one open, seeing if everyone's doing well, if something happens, because of course,
Yeah.
the power of the medicine can be so strong that some people can start shaking, have fear, have panic, and then you need to know how to deal with those situations. And if I work individually, of course, and I have someone with huge traumas from the childhood, I would try to provide this person first probably a quite feminine energy with the music, but at some point I will pull really to this strong work, because at the end, from my perspective, sorry, and this is what I have learned by myself, there is no way to improve yourself if you don't face your fears, if you don't face your own issues.
Yeah.
Of course, our brain and our thoughts make our life, and it's something an area I'm quite busy with now, doing a kind of brain hacking with myself. Not from this positive, everything is fine, this cheap way to see positive thinking, but that's the reality. Our thinking, our thoughts, our mind makes our present and our future. But at the end, if you are not able to face your fears, to face your own issues, it's difficult to change something in your life, because that's how I was able to change my life through the medicine. Not because the medicine is the miracle, la panacea del mundo, and everything, she will solve everything. You must have the intention to really change, and I really wanted to change.
Yeah.
And I went through huge and difficult process where I was several times about to quit everything. I don't want to know anything about medicine or goodbye, because it brings you really to the limits of yourself, but
Yeah.
confronting yourself. The medicine will never kill you. The medicine will never, any psychedelic will kill you, except you are you have some illnesses or you abuse. And that's this bad reputation psychedelics
Yeah,
have. And
exactly. So I really, it's really fascinating to hear this, because, it sounds like the intention as a facilitator is one of your strongest tools, because you say when you're doing music, you can't really know who is getting affected in what way. But if you really believe in the intention and how strong your intention is in how you're delivering the music, then you're sure that it will probably have the best impact,
Absolutely,
right? So
absolutely.
that comes really deep from within you. So that's really beautiful to think about that. And so your relationship with music, how would you describe it? Because if you're the facilitator, right, and you're making this music, how do you think about music?
Music was always my half, mi media naranja. How to say this in English? My half. And since I started in the medicine world to be part of it and be a musician, I never used to sing before. I always said I'm a musician. I don't sing. And the work with the medicine pushed me to sing, and I'm so happy and so grateful that I started singing, because singing is part of this own personal process I'm doing every day with myself. So my relationship to the music, which was lost, what I told you as musician, not only became closer. It's like we are now like this because I discovered, no, I knew it, that the healing power of music, but now I see it much more clear. And this is something what I learned also being at retreats with amazing facilitators like my working partner Alessia Sabino. Thanks her, I'm here where I am, because she was the one who gave me the possibility to start playing, singing with her, and to tell me you have to go to Amazonas, you have to learn transpersonal psychology, science, etc. She's an amazing teacher and facilitator and psychologist. Manuel Villascusa, for example, and my teachers in Amazonas, or Takiwasi Center, the center where I was dieting not so long time ago, and now I'm invited to do a kind of practice with them with their patience, etc. So really, I'm blessed from the universe that I have the opportunity to learn from so much people and so amazing things.
Amazing. So it really feels like you've had a really interesting relationship with music throughout your whole life, and now you're in a new phase of it's even a deeper connection than before, and you're really you said you're going to the Amazon and you're learning more and more about how to facilitate these retreats, and at the same time you're teaching here in Switzerland with these children and making them also unlock parts of themselves that they wouldn't if they weren't doing music with you. So that's really amazing to see that. I would also really love it if we could play one of the songs that you do in your work. What do you think?
Sure, I will try. I don't know. What comes to my mind is exactly Manuel Villascusa, this amazing Spanish facilitator and psychologist, also amazing musician and singer, wrote this song I sent you, and I thought, okay, let's sing. When we met at Toro Bar, I sang this Tears in Rain of him. Of course, this is not the typical ayahuasca music. It's more general, but it's because of the text and the way he writes the music, it suits to any kind of retreat, to the work with medicine, because of the intention of the energy. Of course, I play also on other things, but this is a very good example of this very nice songs for retreats.
Great.
Let me look
I'll
for
try
the
and
text
follow
here. Yeah, you just follow me. No worries. Sorry, wait a second. Here is it. I hope it is tuned, the guitar. Playing in the sun, shining in the sky, diving in the sea, playing with the stars. We're lost in time like tears in rain. E minor now. We're lost in time like tears in rain. When it's time to let go, and it's time to say goodbye, maybe we can release feeling happiness inside. When it's time to let go, and it's time to say goodbye, maybe we can release feeling happiness inside. We're lost in time like tears in rain. We're lost in time like tears in rain. See, nothing's changed, nothing is the same. Letting people go, maybe we will meet again. We're lost in time like tears in rain. We're lost in time like tears in rain. In a million years, we will leave no trace. Maybe we will come just some empty space. We're lost in time like tears in rain. We're lost in time like tears in rain.
Wow, thank you so much. That was really beautiful.
Gracias, Manuel Villascusa.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just learning so much today on this podcast, so thank you.
Oh, thank you. And of course, there are also several traditional music of this context of the work with the medicine, of course. And for me, this is what fills my heart of passion after I had this opportunity to be in Amazonas with the Yawanawa tribe. is playing their music, which is completely different to this what I play now. It's pretty strong and blah blah blah. If you want, I can just play a
Yeah,
bit
I
of
would really
this
love that.
one song,
Yeah,
which is
please.
like it feels like it's mine, or somehow since I learned it there. It's a very famous song, Tonandi, and I had the opportunity to learn it in their way, really.
Wow.
And it's a pretty short version of this. So when I play it, it's like at least 20 minutes of
Wow.
this bam, bam, bam.
I could have listened to it for 20 minutes.
Yeah, but then we don't
That
have so
was-
much time. That's why the reason I decided to make a...
Thank you so much. That
No,
was
thank you.
amazing. I love
Thank
that
you.
so much. And I love how it builds also. You really, there's such a powerful build up. I can feel
It's
it.
amazing, this music. It's just, I'm so grateful
Yeah.
that the universe, God gave me this opportunity to be in this path. And I'm grateful also that you give me the opportunity, because as I told you, it's not about to to say who is me is more about this work I'm trying to do with the best intentions and trying to prepare myself like each good facilitator to be able to work in the three cosmovisions, the shamanic, scientific, and pedagogical, because the work with psychedelics has been demonized and banned for many years, and we could talk about this topic if you want in another time, because I think it's important that people know the potential for healing, for the well-being of the human being through the substance, but it must be responsible and well done.
Yeah.
Because it's something serious. It's not what people believe, or even what I thought at that time. It's just taking something flying, and no. It's much, much, much more than this.
Yeah. No, I honestly, I already believe, and I'm not someone to be convinced on that. But it's really cool to showcase all the important work that you do here on this episode. And I'm going to put the details to your retreats also on the episode description so that people can look more about what you do, your work.
Thank you.
And yeah, it's really an honor to have you here.
No, please, it's an honor for me.
Thank you. I will definitely would love to have a coffee with you so we can keep talking about this.
Of course, let's do it. Rock and roll.
I'm going to finish the episode with a little cha-cha-chang that I always do with my ukulele that seems to be out of tune now. It's too much
because you
healing.
Exactly, the healing. It's quite
the
cold
healing
here.
from the music. But thank you so much, and it's really inspiring to see someone like you you're using music as a tool for yourself, for others, and you're giving so much with it, and in a really powerful way.
I do my best.
So
I do the best I can do.
I can sense it, so it's really cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.